Welcome into the Jam Happy Hour. It is Jana hanging out here with you for an evening of music and wine and just kind of hanging out and getting to know each other a little bit better. Tonight, we're going to be joined by Great Northern coming in to join us. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm so good. Thank you for asking because we're like global and music is anywhere and everywhere. Where are you guys joining us from this evening?
We are in Fresno, California.
Okay, West Coast. Well, I'm in Orlando. Hello, greetings from
Oh,
the East
nice.
Coast. With a true and proper happy hour for everybody that's joining along. The fun thing about this hour is we're all just music fans that like to get together, and whether it's Great Northern fans, maybe getting to know Jam a little bit, or our Jam fans getting to know you a little bit, it's just about hanging out and having fun and celebrating some music. So, thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're happy to be here.
Rachel, obviously, and
Yeah.
Solon. You guys are more than just a band. You guys kind of like each other.
Well, no, I'm just kidding. Yes, we do. We have been doing this a long time together in
I
multiple
know.
avenues. We
And you
started.
just recently had an anniversary, correct?
We did.
Anniversary.
We had an anniversary. We started as musical partners and then fell in love, and it's been many years of this journey together. So it's exciting
And
to
I,
have music to play again because we took kind of a long break from putting anything out, like almost a
right.
decade. There's a resurgence, and for us, so
Ooh, I feel like there's either a good
exciting.
story in there, or there's been some therapy, or this is the therapy.
Maybe a little bit of everything. Yeah,
Maybe a little bit of everything. Well, we're thrilled to be able to jump in with you and kind of experience this the resurgence. For somebody who maybe hasn't experienced Great Northern, love your logo by the way, because I'm a math nerd and it makes me very happy to see mathematical symbols and music
thank
together.
you. Our friend helped
Um,
us with that. Yeah,
Oh, well, you guys, if you are just jumping in and you maybe aren't familiar with Great Northern, go follow them on Instagram, go follow their socials, because the music is, it's a really interesting blend. I'm gonna let you kind of describe, maybe if somebody's hearing you for the first time tonight, I'm not trying to pigeonhole, but like,
maybe you should describe it. That would be better.
it's a little bit of everything, you know? It's like
Great.
you can pull, pop notes, you can pull kind of alternative notes, you can pull like a little bit more of like a little kind of electric thing, and then there's like this guitar thing. Like I hear a little bit of everything in it, but maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
No, I don't think anyone's wrong. I think it's been an evolution of
Hmm.
us as human beings. Thinking we're one thing, just deciding we're one thing. All of a sudden, we outgrow it. We get interested in something else. We want to convey it through music. It's a constant evolution. So this break we took allowed us to slough off all the definitions and kind of ask ourselves, what are we? What are we right
Right?
now? Like, what are we interested in? What do we like what are we drawn to? So this record of songs, which is more than one record, so we're trying to figure out how to put it out still, but
Right.
it's a little more keyboard heavy and dancey,
Hmm.
and a little less orchestrated and um, young. I don't know. Like we were so young, we held back a little bit, so we're kind of embodying more of our true selves at this
It's a
point.
really great way to put it, and especially you talk about the metamorphosis over like multiple years, but even just in light of like the last few years, I think we've all changed so much, and we've all had to be very cognitive of our definitions of what we are and who we are and what we're gonna lead with in the day. I think like a dancey transition is a beautiful thing. I think a lot of people are kind of maybe craving that right now.
Yes.
Yes, Solen's he's got opinions. All right, I think for those of us that are joining in on the Jam Happy Hour, I am excited for them to hear kind of what this new revolution is for you guys musically. So, is it okay if we just go ahead and jump right in on a song?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. What would you like to play for us first?
So this is a new tune that is called "Run Baby Run," and it was written last year, and kind of here it is. Nothing else to say.
Beautiful.
Here it is.
Awesome. Thanks.
Times a week
the drum.
That is a lot of sound coming out of, just the two of you guys. But yeah, now I get it. Like the whole like dancey up energy. Like, yeah, that is definitely music for like now. That's so good.
Oh, thanks.
It is like I was literally making notes. I'm like add to workout list, add to driving playlist, like
Good
all
workout.
the
List is
things.
so good, right?
It's a great energy. It,
2020, a lot of us were doing exercise at home. I feel like. I
yeah.
mean, if we were not too depressed, and that was interesting because like a lot of that pop music that they play, like say on the Peloton,
It's like we're sisters.
yeah, it starts to ingrain in your brain, and then it's a song that has like a little more, It's funny how we're all connected somehow.
Very much so. We can discuss instructors later, because that definitely saved my life these last couple of years, just being active and being at home. But it sounds like you guys also kind of really dove in on the music as a way to kind of cope with everything that was going on. Obviously being married, being together, but also having this like love for what it is that you do, whether it be musically or lyrically. Like, how do these songs kind of come into play? Like, who's like, okay, today's the day to write a song, or is it something completely organic?
Uh, I think it is
God, I'm
that
laughing already.
no one. No, no. I mean, it is one of those things that you kind of like would love to plan, but I mean, you can plan it to a certain degree, like set time aside. But I think it can be difficult to just decide, like, okay, I'm going to sit down today and write a song, and it might work, it might not. But we tend to kind of hear things in different ways and get inspired by different things. So I can, I don't know. I'll have a bunch of ideas, and we'll probably end up using like two of them because I tend to like be really busy, and she likes
Wow.
to simplify things way more, which is kind of where it needs to be.
Hmm.
So that's, I mean, each has its place, but I think
Sure.
that like, I don't know, it's taken me time to be able to simplify things for sure. So that's our writing process is. I think it probably just like we bounce off of each other,
Hmm.
learn from each other. But luckily, we tend to get like, even if one kind of, like last year, we wrote a batch of songs,
Hmm.
and Rachel was kind of spearheading that, and then that inspired me. And then this year, we're writing some, and we're both kind of doing it. But
Hmm.
then I kind of like had a bunch and went, and then that got her going. So we never really know like what's gonna drive the other, but it is
Well,
nice to have
it's
a partner.
almost like a marriage. I mean, it's like you got to push and you got to pull and you got to give and you got to get. And it's like if somebody's feeling the creative, for one set amount of time, then you've got to support that. And then obviously, it can go the other way too. I mean, obviously, you guys can work a balance, and musically, you're also doing the same thing too. So,
It's interesting too to like take away instruments you're used to and put a new one in front of you and see what comes out because it's almost
yeah.
like starting at zero, like beginner's mind. And you, like, I can play guitar, but I'm not that great. Like pianos and keyboards are more my instrument, and then my voice, but
Hmm.
and a little bit of percussion, which is just fun.
It's fun.
But it just like makes you feel part of it in a lot of ways. But when I started playing guitar more, a lot of songs came out because I was limited, and it was kind of starting at 0 point,
Hmm.
which I think is like
Fresh.
super important to do no matter what your vocation is,
Yeah.
because it's like brushing your teeth with the other hand. Your brain starts to
That's a great analogy. Oh my God, I totally get that. I don't think I could actually brush my. Yeah, you have to get a whole fresh perspective. You have to try something different to realize, oh my God, that's so good, Rachel. It's awesome. Thanks. Now I'm going to try that later and totally confuse myself.
yeah.
So when you guys create these songs and they kind of, obviously you have a lot of new music that like you said earlier, you're trying to figure out how you're going to package it, how you're going to put it out there. But do you ever think about where people are going to be kind of listening to your music once it is kind of out in the world?
Um, I don't think that comes into it. It's more like a channeling of something
Hmm.
where it's a universal feeling that if you put your finger on the litmus test of humanity at some point, if you're able to do that, if you're um, graced with that moment,
Right.
you can feel that people might respond to it, and especially if you respond to it. So I think it's more about that. Like, of course, you picture like a sea of people. In 2020, we were like, well, nobody can breathe on each other, so how's that going to help?
You can't
But
picture the live performance because, you know.
but there's nothing like live, you know, because there's an energy exchange, and so for me, that's what I always picture is like this exchange of the audience and the musicians and
Mhm.
the communication that can happen just through vibrational sound, you know. Um, Maybe I should think more about where else people would be listening.
Well, like I was saying, like, you know, like my workout playlist or my drive playlist,
Yeah,
or, you know, a lot of times I'll put headphones on in the grocery store because I'm a lunatic and I'll be
no,
listening to the hardest, craziest stuff, like cruising down the bread aisle, like no other mom in the place. And I'm just like, they don't even know what I'm listening to. And I'm totally raging right now. Like, it's like, so, like, you never know. I've always just wondered if you've ever thought that. I have so many questions. I want to talk about live music. I want to talk about performances. I want to talk about your vision on everything. But I told you it's the fastest hour in music, and I want to jump in on another song. What would you guys
okay.
like to play for us next? And maybe you could do two back to back.
Yeah, sure. We're doing one called Caught Again, which is also from the batch of last year,
Hmm.
which is a story in itself. If we have time, we'll tell you about our experiment that we did,
Oh, yeah.
um, which brought us to Napa and this whole connection with Napa.
I
So we have
know.
a special place in our heart for Napa.
Well, do you want to tell us the story now?
Sure.
Caught again?
So
Because now you got me.
yeah, Caught Again is a combination of things that came out. So we did this experiment with our friend that lives up in Napa,
Hmm.
Michael McDermott. He hadn't painted in like 14 years, and we hadn't made a record in like a decade. And we were
Ooh.
friends peripherally, and we kept talking about possibly all getting together and just making art and seeing what happened. And it came alive in 2020, but it wasn't time yet because we still couldn't kind of be around each other.
Hmm.
So what happened in 2021, we were there for a month and a half. We moved into his house, he and his wife, Sam Sheehan, who's an incredible winemaker,
Hmm.
Mom and Pop and Poe and Ultraviolet, just a shout out.
Nice.
This is one of their Yetis. Anyway,
We all
so
need the Yetis.
we need the Yetis with the logos. So we moved into their house. We set up our whole home studio. We recorded while he was in the garage painting.
Wow.
And it was a really amazing experience. It's like communal living, different types of artists coming together, like just us three, but we have
Yeah.
different, I can't think of the word, mediums. Thank you.
Hmm.
Different artistic mediums, but we all kind of fed off of it, made meals together, drank lots of wine,
Kind of
created.
brought each other back to what is so
Resuscitated.
on the cellular level of what it is that you do.
Yeah. So it was like
Wow.
an awakening in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah.
And
While the whole world was shut down.
yeah, totally. I
That's
think
awesome.
there were people all over the world doing this kind of thing, and we thought, why can't we do it? Like, you know, you have this idea, but you don't actually act on it. But we
Hmm.
acted on it, and it was a gift in so many ways, totally transforming. So a lot of this stuff comes out of
Great.
that, and we did it again this year for 2 months. So there's a whole new crop of songs. They're different and
Awesome.
different vibe, different everything going on. So you know, that's the story.
Fabulous. You want
Yeah,
to roll into Caught Again?
yeah,
And then we'll come out of the, we'll do two songs and then we'll come out and we can hear the kind of the continuation of this story. That is so cool. I love that. If you
awesome.
guys are just jumping in, we've got Great Northern in the Jam Happy Hour this evening, playing some music, hanging out, and just telling stories and getting to know each other better. So please enjoy the music as Great Northern takes over.
again. These dreams again. So be careful when you open up to your doorway. Don't fall away, 'cause it all comes back down. It all comes around like a fire again. It's lighting again. It'll reel you back in like a fish in a slumber. You're coming again. Slip away, slip away, slip away, slip away. Slip away, slip away, slip away, slip away. Again, 'cause I'm flying this now. We better stop this now. So we watch real close as we're falling away. Everyone down here's in it now. We got our hearts locked up inside of a cage that buried deep down in the ground. Chains will crash into the night. Chains will crash around. Chains will crash into the night. Chains will crash down. Enemy down.
That's a vibe. I like that vibe. It's a very good vibe. You know what that vibe makes me want to do? That song makes me want to like go to a party,
Good.
like flirt, and
It
do
reminds-
dangerous things.
I always see roller skating and lowriders. Since the very second that we came up with the beat for it, that's all I've visually seen is a bunch of people roller skating and cars bouncing up and down.
That is so Cali. But you know what? That's the beauty of it. Like you've got a vision when you make, the song, and you guys are so super visual, which I love. But once you release it out into the world and people kind of pick it up in a different way, it makes them feel different kind of ways. It's like putting your musical babies out in the world to send them off to college. Like how bizarre is that?
It's awesome actually because everybody's going to interpret it differently, and like
Sure.
every song is for that person, whatever their perspective is. Like that's the cool thing about music.
Well, certainly. What was the name of that song, by the way?
That was called "Repeat After Me."
Okay. Also going on the list.
Um, get that on that Peloton list.
I mean, I'm gonna send a little email to Cody. Make sure that happens.
Cody Rigsby,
Yes.
is that your favorite instructor?
I mean, one of them, but it's only because I'm crazy.
No, he's my favorite instructor.
Oh, good then. You're in the Boo Crew.
So I'm crazy too.
Oh, good. This is perfect. So next time we're all in Napa together, I am so bummed that we didn't get a chance to hang out during Bottle Rock because I know you guys were there playing.
Yeah, it was so great. Our friend Tom Hoppa booked us on that, which was amazing.
So great. And the weather was perfect. Obviously, it's Napa. It's music, it's wine, it's food. It's
Yeah.
this place that's so special to you guys and your friends. And not only did you get to play the festival, but you also played the after party, which was pretty sweet with Silver Sun Pickups.
Yeah.
What a weekend. which makes me think circle back around to like live music and like you hear music like yours and obviously it's the two of you and you guys can make all of this sound and it's very wall of sound and like this whole new modern kind of a way, but like pulling that off live has to be, I mean, obviously we're seeing you do it now and it's very impressive, especially Solen with all the things that you're picking up and doing over there and like it's there's a lot going on. The live performances, like, are you just like really excited to like get out there and like continue to morph this sound in this show? Because it's, I mean, I can't take my eyes off you guys.
Oh, yeah, we can't wait to morph it. We are in the process of auditioning drummers and expanding. We know we can do it like this, but it feels like
We end up like having to do it with a lot of looper pedals and
Right.
like beats and stuff that are on a track, but like then we have to like you just kind of have to split your brain a little bit, and it would
Yeah.
be nice to not have to do that as much. I mean, it's fun for us to do that, but a little less to where it's like, okay, we can just kind of actually look up from the shoegaze
Doing
pedal
all the
board.
things.
Yeah.
I just wanted to sing for this because I didn't want to have to split my focus. I'm way less technical than he is. Like I can write a bunch of stuff, but playing it live sometimes it's a better idea for me not to do that. So yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
we're in the process of like expanding the live situation so that it's satisfying for everybody, you know?
Well, not only do you have to build out a song, which I want to talk about a little bit, and but then you have to think about building out the show and then building out the ability to put on the show. And you guys have, you know, in different, you know, at times within your career, you've played with bigger bands, you've played with smaller bands. It's been just you guys. It's been big stuff. Like it, if you had to, and it's a crappy question. I'm sorry, but if you had to pick one way to do it, like if you were going to go all in big or keep it just small, like if you had to pick one, which would you do?
I would just want it to be fucking awesome.
There you go. That's the answer.
What does that look like? I don't know.
Whatever it wants to.
Some people can do it. I mean, we've seen people, you've seen people that.
Well, look
it's
at Ed
just-
Sheeran stands on a stage in a stadium with a loop pedal, and
Well, that's the yeah. I mean, he bangs on a guitar, makes a beat, and then does another thing, loops that. And it's some
Yeah.
people, I totally admire folks that do that. Yeah, Moses Sumney is another person.
Oh.
I mean, he has a band now, but I know that when he started, it was just him for years, and it's incredible.
I would just love to see how this works out, like with you guys, like on like the stage with the full setup where you can just like have the drum and have the bass and have everything going, and then you guys just get to be like kind of lost in the music because your music is very easy to get lost into, which I think a lot of people are kind of craving at this point. Where we are, 2-3 years past our all collective experience of what's been happening, but like once those songs start, like you get pulled into them, and that is a really tricky thing to do.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you. I think I get lost in them too, which is why it's better for me to just sing and not play. But that's good. No, that's good. Because like creating a mood.
Like shiny, pretty thing, which is good. It's amazing to have that quality where you walk in and you think about things. So.
Like the power of a really good stare. Like you can't think.
Yeah,
You're just like you're in
totally.
it.
That's such a good point.
Like please don't stop. Oh God. Like what are we still talking about music? Sorry. So.
Oh my God, I love it. That was so good. Yes.
But that's the feeling, It's like when your brain is finally turned off and you're just enjoying the pleasure of the moment, of the song, of the performance, and especially as an artist too. Like, I mean, it's really cool to hear that you get lost in it as well. We're still talking about music.
Definitely. No, that's the kind of music I'm drawn to, where it takes me out of myself and my head, because my head, my mind is a monster. I don't like being in here. So anything that can bring me in here is awesome. So it's probably why that comes out of
Well,
us.
and the fact that your music can do that for us is, a total bonus, because I think we're all kind of loud up in here, but when you can kind of forget for a little bit and just enjoy the music, I love that. And you guys, you definitely have like this whole like, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but there's an art quality. It's like, it's not just music. It's like layers. It's like music. It's visual. It's feelings. It's like the full package of a musical experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's great that you get that from this. I don't know if it's conscious, but we always think about the visual, the feeling, everything, not just the song. Because I don't know if there were ever times we thought about the song and it fell really short. I think, you go see a band live and just having a light show is like a game changer. Everyone feels like everyone feels one all of a sudden and connected, and you can see the same show the next night with no lights. And it's like looking at your watch. It's weird how it's all like the world we live in and how fast our attention
Our brain processes the attention span. Like you got to like grab them.
we've got to grab them in whatever way we can. And I have to be grabbed too, I mean, don't you?
We're still talking about music, right? Okay. All right, I'll stop. All right, so
Yes.
don't encourage me. This is what happens when wine and music comes together. Rock and roll, people. It's rock and roll.
This is very true.
I love that you guys have such an attachment to Napa. I mean, obviously, us being centered here in Napa, we're into, all the things, like all the senses, whether it's taste or, it's, sense and sound. And, I think it all kind of goes together. And when you can have like a place like, this to kind of come to and experience all that together, like you have with your friends, I think that kind of leads to, what comes next. If you could pick like any kind of place to just kind of go, like if bills weren't an option and you guys could just go to some place for a month to get inspiration for a few songs, where would you like to go?
I know my answer. I'll tell it after Solon. What's Solon's?
Oh, I was telling your answer. How about I'll tell
He already knows.
yours? And oh, Istanbul.
Oh, wow.
But I thought
Wow.
I thought it would be the Amalfi Coast.
Well, I would take the Amalfi Coast for sure. I would go to either one of those, but I'm kind of obsessed with Istanbul. There's something metropolitan and amazing about it.
I just had some friends go to a wedding
Space.
there, and every picture they posted, I was just like, good God, that is amazing. So that would totally be inspirational for sure.
What about you?
Oh, if I could go, I mean, I would say Napa typically. God, if I could go anywhere I've never been before to get inspired, I like the idea of like a vineyard on a mountain. It's somewhere in Italy near nothing, like not even near the big things, just like a sweet family and nature and quiet and calm. Oh,
That sounds
could do.
great.
what I could do with that. But
Sounds great.
I digress because we've got wine and we've got music and we've got Great Northern with us here tonight in the Jam Happy Hour. And this, again, is the quickest hour in music. And I know I would love to jump in on one song right here if you guys have one kind of ready to go. And if you do, what would you like to play?
Yeah, we've got one. This is two more.
Okay,
mean-
you want to put them together? Let's do both.
Yeah, we could do that.
That'd be amazing.
Okay. Yeah, they're total opposites. So
Ooh, okay. The yin to the yang.
yes, exactly. All right, here you go.
Picture me in a dream. There's no waking till we find what we need. It's all mystery. all around. It's in the breeze. That's my sleep till I can feel it. Is it plain to see? All of this disease, we made it. Is this the end of time? End of time. End of time. Is this the end of time? So let's crack the safe, 'cause we're made to break. Can't we just watch the sun? 'Cause we are ancient ones. Oh, rivalry. Oh, jealousy. We made them.
Those are two very opposite songs that are both totally amazing. That was definitely two different sides of the spectrum there. What was the name of the first song?
The first song is called End of Time.
Whew, well, that makes sense. That was like dark and edgy and like ethereal and anthemic and like, yeah. And then we just had a party.
It's a party at the end of the world. The other one's called Pretty Cool.
It was pretty cool. I love that. I love how you guys just, like you said, to circle back to the beginning of the interview, you shook off all the definitions. And I think you've absolutely proven that in just this 1 hour. Like, there is no defining your music, how it sounds or how it's going to make you feel. I think, it's just kind of a ride you have to go on. I think it's fantastic. And if nobody had heard it before, I think this last hour is like a really great snapshot of what it is that you can do. So what's next for Great Northern?
Solon.
Whittling. I think we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 some odd songs that we're gonna. I don't know. We're trying to figure out if it's a record, if it's releasing a song every month or every few weeks, or is it
Mhm.
breaking up into multiple records? Maybe we'll make it more cohesive. So it's like,
You bring up a great
here's a
point,
record,
though.
you know,
Like, the music industry has changed a lot. I'm
yeah.
28, 29 years in. You guys have been in, for a while. Like, it used to be all about the album. It used to be about the plan. It used to be about the thing. And now that's not so much anymore. And how do you feel about this like modern music delivery system that we've found ourselves in with all of these playlists and platforms? And like, do you think it's a good thing or is like,
I
of
mean,
course
I,
it's a
I
good
think
thing, but
I think it's all a good thing. I feel like maybe it's connected to humanity in a sense of like a lot of things are being broken down so that there aren't as many rules. I mean, you can put out a full record if you want. You can put out a double record. You can put out just songs. You can just stream it. You can not put out anything. Just play live, and it's.
right.
I think people will find you. I mean, it's obviously maybe maybe certain structures like Pop World might be hold on to a certain idea for a while, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it's all
Well, I
life.
think every
life
format has its, antiquated hierarchy. That's, still a thing. But I think the fact that you can connect directly to your fans and you can connect directly, to people that are maybe just experiencing you tonight. Like I encourage everybody to go follow Great Northern on all the socials and
Bother us, please.
the playlists, from what I've heard tonight, like I think you're going to have a lot of new followers and fans for sure.
I think like the streaming platforms, I think it's like very important. It's not like very important. It is very important for artists to be paid for their work. And I find tons of bands on Spotify, but we have over 1 million followers on there, and we've never seen a time. And it's not cool. It's not okay because the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into making music.
right.
People will pay more for a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, and so it's exciting to be alive and making music in this time because lots of the big institutions are being called into question.
Sure.
And so that was my answer to that question. I feel like it's important to say.
Rachel, you're making a really good point though, because like you remember when like Napster and like file sharing first came out, like everybody freaked out, like, oh no, you can't take our money from this. But now there's this whole new thing where it's kind of flipped back over, and now, like you said, the artists or maybe are getting exposure, but they're not getting paid for their work. So I 1,000% stand with you in that comment as well, and that's why we like to do these things as far as just getting the name out and encouraging everybody to like and to follow and to share and
Exposure.
get the word out there
Yeah.
and drink
Thank
more wine.
Always. In moderation.
Moderation. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the Jam Happy Hour this evening. I know I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you guys a little bit better. I hope to see you in Napa again soon. And we'll hopefully come here to the tasting room and just vibe out and have a great time playing music.
Yeah, you were great. Thank you very much. Super fun.
Anytime. I really look forward to hearing however you decide to put it out into the world, the new music that you are sitting on. Do we have a time frame?
We hope.
I'm pushing for answers now.
Pretty soon. I mean, it's time. So we just have to figure it out and do it.
All right.
So-
I encourage everybody to go to Instagram. It's great __ Northern. I'm sure you'll put the information out there when we can go
Yeah.
flood everything. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your music. Thank you for your talent.
Thank you for having
Beautiful
us.
evening.
Thank you.
Guys,
Thank you.
have a great night and cheers to Great Northern. Appreciate you.
Cheers.